Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of KSP Diaries. We're very happy today to be part of this lovely hangout where we're going to talk about animal welfare and all the lovely people associated with it. We're having a great carnival coming up. It's the BSPCA Woofs and Hoofs Carnival this Saturday, 17 January, between 3 to 9 p.m. So please make sure you are there. We have lots of different activities planned for children, adults and youth. So no excuses, you got to be there. Before we go on, this hangout is going to be all about the benefits of having pet, the current scenario in the country, the increasing number of abandoned pets, pets that we all need to take care of, and how we can raise our children to be more empathetic towards animals, and how do we mobilize youth, media, and all our resources to kind of make a world for all. Joining us today, we have both Pooja and Abhishek, who are from Yoda. They have been actively and passionately working towards defense of animals for a really long time. We have Mrs. Diana Singh Roy, and she has been working with the BSPCA since 1967. Okay, I think that really deserves a huge round of applause. And she is going to obviously tell us more about the carnival and how it is and how we have a task at hand, and all of you can really help. We also have joining us today is Kitu Kipani, who, as we all know, is a very renowned name in the film and TV fraternity. Kitu has been in the industry for 22 years. She loves animals. She's an ardent animal lover and believes that she needs to do her bit to spread awareness about being more compassionate towards animals. And and she's also and she's also been campaigning for the Argentine tango. So we need to know more about that one.
Yeah, that's not an animal.
Yeah, that's not an animal. Okay, going on. And we also are going to be joined by Tanushree, Juhi, and Maya, who've taken time out to join this hangout. So thank you so much. We will check with you when you have your questions for our members here today. So Diana, first question to you. Why this carnival, and what is the task at hand, and how do you, and what is it that the BSPCA really wants to achieve out of this carnival?
Well, the BSPCA is about 140 years old.
Right.
And we have buildings dating from when it started in, I think, when 118,
yeah.
484. And they all are in need of repair, constant repair. So every monsoon, pre-monsoon repairs are done. Some buildings are in a very dilapidated state and should really be knocked down and should start again. But most of the buildings are covered by the regulations on heritage buildings, so we can't really do very much. We just have to replaster or redo whatever is there. And all this costs a lot of money. So every year we try and take up 2 or 3 projects, but we've come to a state where we feel that most of the buildings need urgent repair and we should move on it. So we've asked the executive committee to try and do something, and the fundraising committee had come up with this idea of having a carnival and trying to get more people in Bombay to come in and do their little bit, give whatever they can do on small things and help us, because a lot of people donating something, or the money that they give, entrance fee or whatever it is, will help us improve the hospital, new equipment, new buildings. Building part of it is the most expensive at the moment.
Right. Abhishek, coming to you, how did Yoda happen? How was the whole...
Yoda happened looking at the scenario, pets getting abandoned. Then a couple of friends came together, we all started working together, and we realized that whatever breeds are coming in, let it be Saint Bernards, Huskies, people can't manage them, they dump them on the road. So that's when we get calls, and we used to be normal animal lovers, we used to do our own thing, and we used to take this and call people, do you want a dog, would you like to adopt one? And then we started Yoda, and we thought we should do it on a platform wherein we are available to the common man as well. So we started, we registered ourselves as an NGO, and then we started giving up ads and pamphlets, events, shows, road shows. something like that. And that's when we started promoting adoption instead of buying pets. Yeah.
Right. Kidu, how did you get associated with animals, and how did your, how did, like, was it like you grew up with pets and that's why you were more compassionate, or?
Actually, I was not aware in a conscious sense of animals and creatures around me till I adopted my first cat, and that was just 6 years ago.
Okay.
So I haven't started as long. I've not been as conscious as all the rest of the people here. And it happened to me very strangely. A cat landed up in my house. Cats normally do that. When they want to adopt you, they just come to your house. So my first baby, she just landed up in my house on the 5th floor, and she said, "I'm not leaving." And I fell in love with her, and something just changed overnight, but not overnight, in a few months. And I realized that this is like something I've never paid attention to. And my entire life changed from then on. And then I adopted another baby that I was fostering. And so now I have 2 cats, and they are really, I can't imagine living without them. And because of them, I started helping NGOs. I started doing my very, very little bit, getting all the cats in my lane sterilized, helping World for All with adoptions, donating to NGOs. So it's slowly building up from there,
Right. Right.
And I think that I'm just a normal human being, a citizen who's very involved in her own life. But I think that all of us should start getting aware of animals,
Right.
not just dogs and cats,
Right.
every single creature.
Yeah.
Now I'm aware of every single possible creature and what it must be going through, in this very horrible world that we have created for them.
Abhishek and Pooja, what are the challenges that you face day to day? Like, in our chat, you were just mentioning that how people, sometimes it's like it's outside your shelter in Thane, or it is outside, in garbage bins, or why are people abandoning more animals?
See, I believe right now they're getting more influenced with the movies, the ads. That I want the Vodafone Kutta.
Vodafone dog, yeah.
I want that Maine Pyar Kiya Hua dog,
Yeah.
Pomeranian. I want that English dog. So it's more of an influence. If it starts from the base, like people get influenced by actors.
Yeah.
Now that they've started adopting strays, so people have kind of opened their hearts to adopting strays after that. But if it goes on a bigger platform, people will start seeing Indian breed also to get it home. Right now, we have so much difficulties in getting a stray cat or Indian dog to get adopted.
Yeah. What is this fascination of what is the Indian? Why do you think people are so reluctant to adopt Indian strays?
Because it's everywhere. Everyone wants a different breed.
Okay.
Someone right now, it's something. I want to wear a black, or I want to wear a white. I need
vanity.
to stand out.
It's vanity.
Yeah,
Totally
yeah,
right.
stand out.
Yeah.
It's a troll. Yeah, it's just.
You need a Shih Tzu in the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need a Shih Tzu in the bag.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's more of a show, I believe, than
Stylistic.
kind of it's more of a style statement than kind of a just giving a life.
I think it's a fascination for fair skin that I feel is the same thing like fascination for a
It
Firas
is.
breed, right? It's like you just feel that one's, like you said, it's a trophy value.
Yeah, and what happens by the time is when they get one, okay, either we've got cases where the child is got, like a 21-year-old child, I will still call a child because they live with their parents. So the child has got one and the parents are not happy with it.
Okay.
So as a child is living with a family here, right?
Right.
So you have to, then they tend to give away the dog. So we have dogs as good as 45-day-old.
Wow.
30-day-old. But
Yeah.
they've sold to the breeders and the family can't manage. Other thing, we get dogs where they already have some hereditary problem like a fused knees or a hip dysplasia, or they must have had a fracture, or they have cataract right from a younger age. We have a 1.5-year-old German Shepherd having a cataract. The family gave away because they said, oh, I can't manage. We found a German Shepherd puppy 2 months ago. She's 4 months now. She was found in the bin, garbage near the seeps. And we found a beagle. So you name the breeds, and this includes horse, this includes cats, Persian cats, cow,
buffaloes.
So is it that people when they actually get the animals, they're unaware about any of these
They are not-
problems, and then suddenly they realize, oh, this is too much responsibility.
No. It's not. I don't believe it's unaware. It is. You have a vet for everything. You have the money to spend, but you don't want that ill dog. Like this one family gave away a beagle because it had a muscle pull. So he used to stand on 3 legs, and one leg always clinged up. And they said, हम लोग को ये नहीं चाहिए, ये बीमार है. I said, it's just a mercy pull.
Right.
14 months will be there for adoption.
Right.
So it's right now the case is that, okay, this is ill, I don't want to look after it, and it's the easy way out to give it away or
Right.
throw it.
Right.
This is quite true. We've had people who've had a dog maybe for 5 years or 6 years. They want to get rid of it. So they come and ask if the SPCA will
We'll just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the basic thing is my wife's pregnant.
Yeah.
We are going to the US.
Okay.
So just chuck
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So you're having a child. That's why you're throwing your first child out.
And you
Right.
try and talk them into
You-
saying
if
this is
you
part of
can.
your family. You've had it for so long, 5
We
years.
try counseling, but it helps sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
See, I understand there's a death in the family and there's no one to take care and there's no one at all. It's
Right.
only the mother and all. It's a different thing. But when you, or probably, a marriage. Yeah, we're getting married. So, we don't have anyone to keep.
Yeah.
No, the worst cases we had in this New Year's because they wanted to go out for vacations.
Yeah.
Worst
That's
cases.
ridiculous. I can't
Yeah.
believe
So on
it.
one hand you have these people, and on the
Yeah.
other hand you have extremely poor people who can't even afford to feed themselves.
Yes.
But they will feed stray dogs and cats
Yes,
on the
yes,
street
yes.
with their own money every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
They might not get enough to eat. So you have these two polarities
Two
in this
extremes.
country.
Yeah, in
It's
fact, I
that-
remember somebody was telling me that outside Eros Theatre, there is this guy who feeds and takes care of all the strays, and he's named each of the strays after popular movies. I think Abhinav was the one who told me that every Friday when there was a movie released at Eros Theatre, he would name a dog after, ये picture hit है, ये naam, this is the name I'm going to
So
say.
I mean, there's Mama on Colaba Causeway,
Yeah.
Electric House. There's a woman, a servant girl, a woman on Altamount Road near where I live in the posh
Yeah.
area. She comes every evening.
Yeah, I read about that.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
newspaper.
yeah.
Cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She feeds all
She
the
comes
cats.
from Kalyan or
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, so many of
She
these
takes
poor
a
people
local,
who are
yeah.
doing it, and on the other hand, you have these rich, extremely vain people who just think, have
Yeah, no,
treat every
I mean,
creature.
I wouldn't like to name. We have politicians,
Actors.
actresses, giving their own dogs.
Right.
But it's done quietly because, yes, we don't want to publicize it. And our ultimate goal is that the animal gets a home.
8-year-old
That's
dogs.
it.
We are talking
It
about
is,
8-9-year-old dogs. We are talking about,
Yeah.
and actors. We can't take names obviously, but again,
Too many.
But do you feel that it is, there's a certain time or spike or anything that
Valentine's Day.
What?
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
A gift.
We
They
have
give the girl,
I have
she can't
left.
take
I have left my dinner with my husband and I've gone to pick up the dog because their boyfriend is standing outside. I gifted to my girlfriend, and you know what? She doesn't like it,
Yeah.
and he's running somewhere else. The worst is the Thanksgiving bunnies. When you give those bunnies.
Yeah, bunny, Easter bunny.
Easter bunny.
On Easter, yeah, we get bunnies. Okay, get it.
This, yeah. You
It's
don't
more
even get
of
this in the US. People don't do this.
Yeah, it's only done.
But tell me, you guys work with a lot of other organizations outside of the city, outside of the country. Do you feel like this is a trend across that people are,
See, I believe if our laws were stronger,
right,
things would have been a little better.
right,
And if I see a cruelty, everyone is, God knows where, in what hurry are they? If 10 minutes if you reach office late,
Yeah.
it's fine. You're not going to get kicked out of your job.
They're saving a life.
Okay, I
They run
understand.
over dogs.
Yeah.
Everything.
Purposely.
No, they're whenever someone's hitting, just stop, dial 100,
Stop.
call us,
We're
call
there.
someone.
Yes.
Every NGO is there to run. See,
There are
everyone
so many
loaded.
good NGOs in Bombay now.
But do you feel that there's a lot of confusion? Okay, I'm neutral. I don't belong to any NGO, but there's a lot of confusion even in the person's mind that okay, I see this. Who am I supposed to call? Do you feel that is also a battle that we're fighting?
See,
Is
I
there too
believe-
many NGOs now?
No, see,
We all
right
work in
now,
tandem.
see,
Okay.
No,
every,
all work together.
The nice thing
yeah.
about Bombay, I feel,
Yes.
from my, again, outsider's point of view, is that most NGOs in Bombay
Right.
tend to have a
They kind of
network.
demarcated
Okay.
their territories.
No, but they have a
No,
network.
no, it's,
Yeah.
it's
So
I'll go all the way
coordinate.
to Mathiran, I'll go to Karjat, I'll go to, we've got so many dogs from Panvel.
Yeah.
There's no NGO working there or something, but if it's in my capacity, if
Right.
anyone's coming, we will go and run.
Right.
It's not that the NGOs are not loaded with animals. Like
Right.
BSPCA itself is loaded with so many animals at this age.
Yeah.
Right.
But they're still doing as much they can. So
Right.
everyone is doing their part. My only thing is if you see an injured, don't wait for an injured to call. You know a vet.
Right.
Alright? If you are a animal lover, you must have seen a goat passing by a vet. Take the animal to the vet.
Right.
Okay, start based from there, then waiting for someone to come and collect.
Okay. Being part of, an organization like Yoda, where, which is Youth in Defense of Animals, how do you feel like you can mobilize the youths to be be more responsible and, I mean, do you feel like we should start much younger, which is exactly the aim of the carnival?
Yes.
Where we're starting, telling kids, I mean, we just had this article that we published on Kidsstoppress, which is a checklist for getting a pet. These are your requirements. If you feel that you and your wife are going to have a kid even in like the next 2 years and you're not going to be okay, don't get a dog. Even putting your child through a regime that this is what it takes to do a dog. In fact, that's one of the activities that we have at the carnival, which is, having a little maze where you do at every point you have a chore to do for a pet.
Correct.
So if you feel like you can go through that exercise every single day, that's
the
your
next
checklist.
12 to 13 years at least.
That's what we do. When someone comes, a dad just came along and he's like, can you please make my son understand? He wants a dog. Can you tell him what responsibilities? I'm like, okay, you want a dog? Yeah, he's like 12, 13. Sensible enough, but still a kid.
Yeah.
You want a dog? Okay. Come to the shelter, work for 2 days, take the dogs out for a walk, clean the poop, feed them, take the dogs out for a walk again, go.
That's the thing we
That's
don't
when you
see dog
realize.
poop in India.
Yeah.
Nobody picks up dog poop.
Nobody
You take
picks
a dog to walk for a walk in the US. You're
You
carrying
have
those
to-
plastic.
yeah,
You have to carry.
But I
They're
have
coming
to
up with the
admit,
rule.
Now it's
They're
I
coming
have
up
to
with the
admit that I
rules.
walk on Seaface every single morning and I see so many of responsible
Yes,
pet
yes,
owners
they
who
do.
have now started
Yeah.
carrying those
Civic
bags
sense.
No,
or
we have.
carrying
Absolutely.
those carrying newspapers. What is
Newspapers.
Seaface?
What is it?
I see it quite often and it's nice. It feels good
Food
because
scoop.
there are a lot of people. So I think it's a great suggestion that if you are considering getting a pet for your child, first spend a day at a shelter
Correct.
or any or NGO unit around or whatever. Get to know what it takes to raise a pet and then go ahead and do it. But how do you think you're channelizing? I mean, we're talking about so much of social media, so much of WhatsApp, YouTube, and Facebook and whatever. How do you think NGOs today or organizations or animal welfare organizations can mobilize social as a channel to get more people involved?
So I believe it starts from the young age. So we're trying to target school children. Like we had some kids from Podar come in and to interview us, and it was quite strange for us because we never had interviews with school children. So apparently, one of the brothers they had adopted from us, and they said, if you want to make a project, make it on animals.
Right.
So it's not that it's not building up. And they asked me the same question as in, how can we stop all these, these cruelties and everything? I said, it just starts from you. If your friend or you, until unless you tell your parents that I want a husky or I want a Saint Bernard or I want a Malamute or I want a horse, they're not going to go ahead and do it.
Right.
Right now, the parents are such that they listen too much of their children, which is good, but it is also bad in some parts.
Right.
But we've told them, I said, if you start counseling your own friends, the base starts from there.
Right.
But a lot of schools bring their kids to the SPCA, and we have a round. We haven't got anybody who's designated to explain. They'll just say what happens in a particular ward. But they come because we're much short-staffed now than we were earlier. We had more people available, and they are interested. Some of the kids get scared, but most of them are interested in what's happening.
Yeah, I think children have an automatic affinity towards nature and animals. And if you start at 5, 6, and every school had an animal awareness program or just being aware of other creatures.
I think instead of going to the zoos, probably, I think we should probably do this.
There was one program recently where get your pet day.
Yeah.
So whoever had a pet got them to the classroom.
Yeah.
And everyone interacted. So that's a super.
But I really like the idea of kids with schools. I think that's also an interesting insight of how I don't think when we were growing up we had any programs in school that was our EVS studies or environmental studies were all
Books.
was all bizarre, right? I don't think we had any. Our Indian education system kind of somehow never talks about anybody else who can coexist in the same space, right? It's all me, I, me, myself.
Even now, I think it's only few schools with the IB program who have that, what's it called? Yeah, environmental studies.
Studies,
Not even ISC or ICSC don't have.
Yeah.
So,
but I think that's an interesting insight of getting them to the SPCA, because anyways, I think the zoo is in such a sorry state that you actually feel bad for the animals who are living there.
we have to shut down that zoo.
But you know that we're getting about pork roll penguins there, right? So that is going to be a.
So silly.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hope they're going to refrigerate it or something.
No,
I don't understand you spending
a
so
letter
much.
campaign where people write.
The petitions.
Yeah, we have to start.
We have
We'll
to,
have to
yeah.
start somewhere.
It's bizarre. Why can't you just fix the existing problem
Yeah,
instead of
and then-
of creating
More problems.
more problems, right? Altogether.
This can only be happen with a mass movement if you get a momentum of everybody saying no, this is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should take a mob there probably. Placards or something saying,
No, but we
stop this.
can
But it doesn't help.
Yeah, I think we should start.
You don't think it
We
helps?
should start.
No, it does.
It does help, but not to
the
that
Tiger
extent.
case, it did help.
No.
Because
Okay.
we had.
Sure.
people
I think
writing it.
one of our readers, Tanushri, you have a question. So can we get you to ask your question to our panel members here?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Tanushri, and we are associated with this because we're doing a production on the carnival. And something that keeps coming back to me, and throughout this entire conversation, I have been thinking about it. And we have mentioned the word in US this doesn't happen, or in US we have seen that a lot. But I feel there is a lot of Indian media not giving due importance where necessary. When you see foreign films, when you see Hollywood, let's say, there is Flipper, there is Free Willy, there is Dunstan Jackson, there is King Kong, there are so many animated movies, there's Rio, there's Kung Fu
Hey, one of my
Panda.
favorites.
Babe.
Oh.
We have movies on every animal where every animal looks approachable, cute, and you start feeling something for them. In India, obviously, we've had one Hathi Mere Sathi maybe somewhere many years ago, and we had a black Labrador and Jackie Shroff in some movie called Ma, I remember.
Teri Meherbani, yeah. Actually,
Oh, yeah.
I've seen the movie. I'm sorry, but I know. Dog movie.
You like
No, I also know.
with the kid.
So the thing is, I don't think we are doing our bit.
The dog is barking, and what is this? It's not fair, yeah.
Anyways, I'm also from a similar space. We do film choreographies, we do stuff like that. Nobody has ever approached me. This was the first time when the BSPCA spoke to us about doing a production for animals. And even before Divya could finish her conversation, I was like, yes, you had me on hello, sort of a thing, There is nothing that I would not want to do, but I don't have an avenue for it because people want Bollywood and people want hip hop and everything else. So my question is to everybody. It's easier to feel for a dog or a cat and maybe even for a bird because we see them every day. They are in our space. We have them in our consciousness. But we do not have tigers in our consciousness. And we have Hindi movies where they are shown out as villains. We don't have whales in our consciousness. We don't know these animals so well, and we don't empathize with them, we don't connect with them, we don't feel for them. How do we raise awareness for each and every creature? Yes, we start in the beginning, education, empathize your kids, but I think media on the whole needs to do a lot more and get animals more felt because there's nobody representing animals in the film industry.
Do you want to take that question on why I think she has a very valid point about there's so many movies that are being made internationally on different species. Why do you feel like there's nothing like that's ever happened?
That's a mystery to me. I mean, basically, I'm a big fan of the Disney and the Pixar movies, which there's been a spate of them, right, for the last 15, 20 years.
Right.
Madagascar,
the penguins just came back.
Penguins, Madagascar.
So I don't know what it is in the consciousness of this country that does not. First of all, I don't think maybe we don't have the talent to animate and write stories the way they do,
Right.
like Lion King, for
Right.
example. We don't have that kind of talent. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a mass awareness that has to increase.
But-
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe our animators do not know how to animate the animals.
I understand that fiction probably is not so easy to create, especially when you have such limited means of all these resources. But something as simple as news. We do not mention animals enough in our news, and when we mention them, we make them sound, a lot of them, like monsters. For example, the tiger case that happened in the Delhi Zoo. For the longest time, everybody thought it's the tiger's fault.
Actually, that's not what I got out of it.
Yeah,
there were
that's
many
true.
people. There were
That started much later on Facebook.
This guy's this guy's obviously disturbed to go inside. And what the heck were the zoo authorities doing? They were not blaming the tiger.
The sad part is this is what happens on Facebook. Facebook would do this, news wouldn't.
Yeah, you're right.
You and I will talk about it and say, what the hell? What is he doing there? What is he even doing there? Is he stoned or something? What is wrong with him? But it's us, you and I, when we go on Facebook, we speak.
Yeah, I think it's a valid point that the conventional media still is thinking in a certain way, while the world has moved on. At least the ones who are conscious and empathetic towards animals, they've kind of moved on and they get that information from reliable sources. I think today we're not the ones that, okay, you get one forward and you're smart enough to validate it and see if it's actually the truth.
I think young people on social media are far more aware.
Yeah.
In alternative media are far more aware than conventional media and the big corporate establishment.
But we need to understand one more thing, that there are more people watching news on Aaj or anything else than people on Facebook in India. So awareness needs to somewhere be brought through that medium, which is far more popular.
Yep.
That is the religious.
Sarushree, I agree, but I also think that the number of people, the number of Indians on Facebook today, and the number of viral effects that it can kind of generate would be far more than the viewership of Aaj Tak. I have no debate in my mind about that. And I think it's also important somewhere that you get relevant people versus getting the
It's a little sad. I feel that we need actors to start adopting strays, and then we start thinking it's cool to do that. But it is like that here. So what can
the dolphins in the Ganges?
Yeah.
This is very important and very relevant now.
So so nobody disputes the fact that star power will always work, because I think as anywhere, be it Bollywood or Hollywood, everybody's smitten by stars. So I think it is very, it's just normal that they are just...
Yes, but let's have more of such news out there, I guess. Let's have more people informing us that Hrithik Roshan has picked up a stray or something, and then everybody...
No, but like when Diana says dolphins in the Ganges, there are so many great people who are working for the environment.
Nobody gets to know about that.
Right? And nobody knows about them. So it's a combination of the lack of the apathy on the part of the government.
There is nobody out there who thinks that's a viable story. It's not going to get eyeballs.
There's no masala in it. There's no masala in
I'll tell
it.
you, for the Bandra case, what happened where the trees were chopped down by a private society, and there were about, I think, more than 100 of hatchlings, egrets, fallen down and all, which we got a call. And so it was a big page, but that happened only after I sent pictures of the egrets, the baby egrets, the tree which is cut, and the reporter from Mumbai Mirror, the report, and the eggs were like, there were so many eggs, we lost count.
Oh my God.
We lost count. So everyone who had wings and who could fly, who were big enough, older enough, they flew. The rest all fell down. So either they fell down and then the branch fell on it, so most of them died. So whatever we could do it, we removed. So after sending these pictures, I got a call after an hour, and I'm like, I thought, if you all open up to this case, it'll really help out. He said, Pooja, you know what? No one reads animal cases. But he said, this is, you tell me rape right now? Children, abduction or children, anything? We'll release right now. I'll get a permission from my editor also. He said, but right now, what happened in this 1 hour was when you send me pictures, one friend, one of my reporters, he saw the pictures too. And then it kind of, my phone went everywhere. And that's when they started, their reaction was too much. And they were angry. He said, that's when my editor said that, let's post this.
Yay,
that's right. Now people are not getting that much angry on animal cruelty because they can't talk.
I think it's also a case of awareness, right? We haven't been raised to be a society that's more empathetic towards.
And
like right now there is so much awareness, but when we were growing up, I don't think there was any.
You still see parents telling the kid, don't touch, he bites. Don't touch, he bites. How do you know?
Sorry, let's just take Sabha, do you have a question for
I'm scared of rabies.
Sabha, do you have a question for our panelists today?
Basically, in fact, even I am an animal lover. Basically, I'm from a very small town. I'm from Jammu and Kashmir. So people out there, they have a very small mentality about animals. They like shirk from helping animals out there. So like I have a lot of these incidents. Like I've seen the horses uh, hurt their foot and everything, and it's said that once a horse, it hurts its foot, so it's no longer.
Useful.
So I have seen people not helping the horse without right in the middle of the road, and all they're doing is, driving off the cars and laughing, and the horse is crying. And I couldn't do anything. The vets couldn't help me. They were like, "It's an off. We are not here, and we don't have like NGOs and all, great working NGOs and all out there." So it's like sad to see like how like people, we all like have time for everything. Like I have a dog with myself, and I couldn't go to the US and everything because I couldn't leave him behind. I had nobody. My parents were out. So I dropped my 6 months course of study just because I had to take care of my dog. So it's like, in fact, here in Bombay, we have like, I was out there in Orbit Mall and I saw one Saint Bernard dog. Saint Bernard's a most Indian vet. So I saw this dog out there and he was tied he was tied out there from 9 in the morning in the evening. And nobody was there. People were passing by. Yeah, and nobody was there. At the end, finally the dog was falling down. Finally, when I was there, we had to pick the dog and take him to the nearby hospital. And he was, and then like, there was a microchip. And we called up the owners, and the owners were like, sorry, we can't afford this dog. It was for their social life. Like all these incidences, and there was no awareness. Like
the dog, against the owner.
Yeah. I have a question for all of you guys here, and Sabha, for you as well. Do you feel that the laws, you mentioned this earlier, do you feel there are not enough laws governing all of this, and that's why people can get away with whatever they want?
Right now, for the animal law, which was based in 1960, the fine is 50 rupees.
For what? For which crime?
Any cruelty
Any
towards
cruelty.
animal.
If kill, mutilation, maiming an animal.
But I
it's
thought
50
it was
rupees.
2,000 rupees.
That is
The
in the
maximum.
IPC Act, maximum act. That's what the IPC section, the animal cruelty law, has minimum of 50 rupees. But not much people, not even the cops knows this. So IPC Act has a punishment, okay, of the fine of 2,500 rupees. So you kill a dog, you run over it, and you still have to pay 2,500 and you're free.
No, and you go to jail.
No, there's no jail term.
It's either or.
It's either or.
Yeah. The thing is,
You
see,
can't
I had
kill
a
someone
case.
though.
They can be arrested though, but I come out on bail on the 2,500 rupees. So where is the
Next minute you get bail. Next minute.
how difficult?
Shameful.
Is
That is shameful.
And they
And
won't
worst-
increase the amount.
And the main
They'll be
animal
writing and
cruelty law.
writing.
That is shameful.
So our main animal cruelty law, 50 rupees.
But
So
people with cattle, as they are near Shivani's clinic,
yeah, outside.
you can't do anything with that
Yeah.
fellow. He's a violent chap. He's I think, Gwala caste, whatever he is. He's a very violent guy. And he has all these cows tied up, very unhygienic.
Yeah.
And,
Right on the footpath.
Where is this? Which area?
This is
Prabhadevi,
Prabhadevi.
near the old temple,
Right.
in that lane. And he's milking the cows.
Can't we go and take
Selling-
photographs?
We have
Yes, we
picked up
can.
one of his calf. We have picked up one of his calf because it was about to die, so
Yeah,
we
he
got him
wants him to
adopted.
die.
You want
so
so that he gets
yeah,
milk.
yeah.
The
So
calf should
we
get
have
milk.
picked up one calf, but then now we've understood that if we just pick up, it's not going to work out like that because he's still minting his money.
Yeah.
But there's no law. I mean, he can be charged
He's
with
charge-sheeted,
PMC
but I
and
think we
everything.
have got
But
that.
We are cleaning his garbage. He's
So
doing
we
it again. We are
basically
cleaning
need
it.
stronger laws
Yeah, much
for
stronger laws, absolutely.
and the
animal
PMC
welfare.
for that matter, if the laws are a little more stricter, then it turns out to be easy life for everyone.
But I think this is like a lot of things in the city
Yeah.
that if you have clout or money, then you get away with it.
Yeah.
So that is what it
But in this case, in animal law, you just need 2,500
police
rupees.
jockey is there.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you don't have strong laws as a base,
Yeah, that's
then
one of
there's
the,
nothing you can do.
that's one of the biggest battles I think we're all fighting. Because I think once you have the laws in place and people they know that they can't mess around and can't get
That's
away
the
with 50
time.
rupees of fine for whatever
That's
they
the
do.
time.
I think it'll at least be like at least the rights first
That
step.
has to come from Delhi, from the department involved. And
Yeah.
so a lot of the NGOs have been writing,
But there's
appealing.
not,
But
yeah,
there's
let's see.
no.
But over here, you don't know who abandons, right? But in some cases, we do find the culprit.
Yeah.
And
I
we've
filed
been
a
loaded
case,
with
German
cases.
Shepherd, German
and we've
Shepherd
been
with
loaded with
twisted
cases
legs
where
and all.
they have,
Find a case back.
yeah, that they have robbed a dog. Luckily, we had video proofs of everything,
Yeah.
so it kind of did not work.
They put a case against me stating I asked for money, 25,000 rupees, or
To give
else
away
I'll
the
file a
sick
case.
dog.
I'm like, I have the dog. I'm taking care of the dog, and I'm asking for money.
Juhi, you are also on the call. Do you have a question or you have anything to share with our panel today?
So I have two questions actually. So one was, after the carnival, is there some kind of a plan to go ahead? Because, after the carnival, people will think about it for the next 3 months, 6 months, but after that, what? Like, I come from a background where we do not have pets in the house.
Can you repeat that? Juhi, you have to repeat that for us because I think a bad connection.
I have grown up seeing my friends having pets, and that's how I started loving pets.
I think Diana, you should take that question. Her question is basically what happens after the carnival. So it'll last for the euphoria will last for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. What happens after that? How can we keep this
Alive.
Momentum
alive,
going
the
on.
momentum going,
Yeah.
right? How do you keep that? And how do you take it? So one is obviously people who will be at the carnival that you will mobilize resources there, but how do you take it beyond?
To tell you the truth, I don't think we've thought that far ahead. We could get people to join the various NGOs who are taking part.
Yes.
They could have their membership list or some form or something, and try and get people to join their setup or help.
So for the people who are coming to the carnival, we are making free handouts for the public,
Yes.
which have tried to put together a good database of all NGOs and helplines in the city, and also some BMC numbers and bird helplines and stuff like that. And it's about 4 or 5 pages, and there are links to the animal cruelty laws. Of course, like we have discussed, it's completely toothless. It has no power, but the public should know. The more the public knows, the better it is. So everyone, please pick up a handout and use those numbers, use those helplines.
And they will also be available on Kidsstoppress. So you have an online resource to kind of get you those numbers at any given point in time. And I think it's time not to chuck those handouts because that's what we do after every event, but to kind of keep them. And I think we're taking the first step in bringing about the awareness, right? So every activity plan at the carnival is not about making you feel empathetic towards the animals. That's not our objective. The objective is to make you aware that this is what. So if you can't do anything, at least don't create a bigger problem. So if you can't take care of a dog, that's fine. But this is what you can do if you see one that is abandoned, or how you are not the one who's abandoning somebody.
And
Right?
but also, I think people should know that any citizen of this country, this city, you can feed the animals around you. You can feed dogs, you can feed cats, you can get them sterilized by calling any one of the 20 NGOs. If every person in a locality, or one, in a building, if one person starts doing something with 2 or 3 animals, every society, I mean, a lot of the load, I think, will be lifted. The burden will be lifted. Making phone calls, feeding, sterilizing, getting to know the animals in your area. That I think it's a local thing. It's like a grassroots thing.
Yeah, and I don't think we only need NGOs to support us and help us. I think all of us are equally capable to make that first step, right? So I think that's like a bigger takeaway from me, and also, being a mom and being associated now with this carnival, the biggest thing that I have learned after working 3 months non-stop on this exercise is I've stopped telling my children to fear animals, right? So like he rightly said, okay, don't touch this dog. He's a stray. Don't do this. Don't do, this dog will bite you or whatever. I think that's the first step, that you don't need to always fear animals, okay? Because they're in the same ecosystem as you are, and it's as much a world for them as much it is for you. So I think that's my biggest takeout from this. And I think whether I go on to do something after I'm not this carnival, the biggest lesson that I've learned is that I don't need anybody else to do what I can do. I can anyways just make that first start.
Yeah, and parents should start asking their schools to start animal awareness programs in their schools for their children, and that'll be fantastic.
Right. I completely agree, with what Kitu said, that I think the first step is that parents really need to, even schools for that matter, need to start taking that initiative of getting their children, if they're asking for a pet, please ensure that you attend or, visit a animal shelter once, so your kids know exactly what it is. All those up for the biggest one that we're celebrating, Makar Sankranti today, the BSPCA has put up animal a helpline, all the helpline numbers for birds who will be injured on their Facebook page. So please check that out. Valentine's Day is coming up. Please don't get pets for your girlfriends or boyfriends if they're not going to be able to take care of them. The last thing,
Get them a stuffed toy.
Yeah, stuffed toy,
teddy bears. They work way better than actual ones. And any last parting thoughts that you'd like to each share?
Can the person from Kashmir, can she
Sabha, that's for you.
Sabha, there must be a BSPCA in Kashmir somewhere, which was established years ago, but there must be some remains, an office or something. If you could start again and just do basic stuff, perhaps first, giving anti-rabies shots to dogs and offer a service to local people. So if you could think about it.
Absolutely. Like, it is there. It must have been there. But like, people are lazy out there. They are busy their own life. All they want to do is like to have this flag that they are under this organization. But the actual work they are not doing. Like recently there was an incident, like 2 weeks back. There were a few German dogs who ate women alive in Ladakh. Now all the army people and all the civilians were after the dogs. They hunted them down and killed the dogs. But basically, no one came forward to even question why did the dogs eat the women alive. These army people, they trained the dogs for months to make it aggressive out there in Ladakh. And then when they're outnumbered, they eat the dogs like that. Those aggressive dogs, when you create monsters, so what do you expect them to do? So nobody came forward to, in fact, think about it. Why did they do it?
Very difficult.
I agree that it has to start with the school. It has to start with the public. It has to step forward. Not joining the organization and an NGO with help animals. You have to have personal conscience to help these animals. And that's what I find.
Yeah, it's difficult, I'm sure.
I just have another last parting thought, which would be, people, if they feel that, is it that there are not enough shelters that could take care of animals while you are away, or do you feel that also is
there are many kennel boardings, everything, but there you have to pay.
Right. Oh.
So it's about 500 to 800 rupees per day. And then if they're going for a month, you calculate that into 30 days.
Oh, so it's easier.
I got the dog for like 15,000. I'm spending 24,000 on it.
That's the
so I'll give the dog away and I'll get another dog.
But I just find that so surprising. Aren't you attached to that?
It's easy to let go what you can.
For some people, I don't know.
Kitu, any last thoughts?
Yeah, Mahatma Gandhi said, I think this quote has been attributed to Mahatma Gandhi, and he's my hero, that a nation's moral progress can be judged by the way it treats its animals. So an animal who has nothing to offer you is just there on the street, and if you're still kind to it, that means you're an evolved person, right? If you can treat animals kindly because they're just there, and they have nothing to offer you, but you're still kind to them, to every creature, every bird, every, that's the way your nation's morality or its progress can be judged. And that's so true.
Can't we get a star to say that on TV somewhere?
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Like his granddaughter, he only did it once actually, saying he was so happy to have a granddaughter when the baby arrived. So I kept thinking, why don't they make him say this several times and several
We need
days?
those
Yeah, we'll
light
try. We will
contacts.
try.
But I
Yeah.
think this, if you get someone
We will try. We
No,
will
okay.
try.
liked and
We will
Right.
try.
But I think with the parasocial, that if you try and kind of get. I mean, today a lot of these celebrities, are coming out in the open saying that this is what this is my pen and I'm
See,
proud
most
to
of
own
them
it.
I've seen, even if they're doing good work, they like to be quiet about it.
Yeah.
But this work, I prefer, I believe, I said you should be a little more open about this so people will listen and will do and take. Like, to name a few, Mithun, he's got over 50 dogs, and those all are strays,
Right.
all abandoned
how about
cases.
Shahrukh? Does he have any dogs?
No,
He has
not-
spoken.
I wish
had
to.
a
I wish
dog
to
and he passed away. He had a
Yes.
Shih Tzu. I
He
think.
has spoken.
Yeah, he had a
positively
Shih
about
Tzu and he
dogs.
passed away.
There are few celebrities where I believe instead of being quiet about
Sonam
this,
Kapoor has a stray.
them also.
Yeah, they
So
said.
then
So it's coming up.
Yeah, but I think
It should be spoken on a
much
platform.
larger platform. And if you do you want to say anything about if you spot a stray or anything, and they can connect with you guys or the BSPCA
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
even WhatsApp to any of their
See, all
helpline
our
number.
numbers are already there. Okay, as
Yeah,
I said,
you can Google
if you'll see, yeah, you would ask, short and sweet.
Yeah, why would he?
But if you'll see a cruelty, if you'll see an injured animal, please don't wait. There are vets nearby. They also opened up to doing it at free cost,
Right.
and it's not much. You go for a movie, you spend 1,500 minimum on per head.
Sure.
I believe if you can save that, or even if you don't save that, 1,500 is too much for that particular animal.
Right.
It's not much of an expense. It's not much of a thought.
Right.
It's just that time and that help what it needs at that particular time. So if everyone starts, I think BSPCA, Yoda, all other NGOs wouldn't be loaded
With so many
with so many animals.
This is the first step that you can actually take by coming to the carnival and supporting all the animal welfare NGOs in the city. It's on 17th of January between 3 to 9 p.m. That's your first step. So please make sure that you attend. The carnival is the Woofed and Hoofs Carnival at the Turf Club. So please hope to see you there. Turf Club at the race course. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Maya, Tanu, Jui, and Sava.
Thank you so much.